Hello. So what I'd like to do today is to do a product review and kind of cover something that's become a very useful tool to me over the last few months. Now, for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, you may have noticed that there has been a significant improvement in audio quality in terms of reduction of background noise, voice coming out clearer and everything. And that is due to this guy. This is the Boya BY-M1 Lavalier Style microphone. Now, what happened was a few months back, I reached the point where, I was just tired of the audio, the background fuzz, hiss, and everything that I was getting basically from my old, phone microphone that was, just built-in phone mic, and it was just really unhappy with the audio quality. So I started researching, just seeing if there was anything out there that was relatively inexpensive that could make a significant difference in terms of the audio quality of my videos. And I came across another YouTuber who reviewed the 5 best external microphones under $50. And one of them mentioned was the Boya BY-M1. So I went with the Boya BY-M1 for 2 reasons. The first was, quite honestly, it's literally the cheapest good microphone you can buy out there. It runs about $20 to $22 from Amazon. Quite honestly, if I'd known about this a few years ago, I never would have even bothered with phone audio, just because, in my opinion, it makes a significant difference and makes the audio quite a bit better. Well worth the purchase price. The other thing is that, as I've discovered with videos, it's not necessarily the microphone itself. But the problem is that you're going to run into is that it's a challenge of getting the ideal microphone placement from the distance from where it is to your mouth. So that's the difference, is finding the ideal placement. And the problem is that even though there were some nice, more expensive microphones that clip like to the phone, camera, or whatever, in the $40 to $50 range, the problem is that they suffer the same problem that the phone microphone does, which is that you can't keep it at the ideal placement, which is about 6 inches from your mouth, at all times, in order to get the audio that you want and the clarity in your voice, while tuning out the background static, fuzz, hiss, and everything else. Okay. So that was the other reason I went with the Lavalier Style, because the Lavalier Style, what it means is it's just this clip that hooks here with a little mic, and then it runs this cord here, okay, and it runs down to a headphone jack on your phone or other device. Now, be aware that obviously if you don't have a headphone jack on your phone or other device that you're using, they do make an adapter for the Boya BY-M1 that makes it compatible with other, non-headphone jack devices. But they also do make a model that's compatible with like the newer iPhones and other phones or other devices that don't have headphone jacks. Just be aware it's going to be a little more expensive, okay? So, the downsides to the Boya BY-M1, the first of which would be this guy, this big long cable here. The Boya, I still haven't found the ideal distance that goes from, as far as too long or too short for the cord. You don't want it untangled completely because, and fully extended, because that's about a 19-foot cord. This thing, it has a little clip on it. This is what you do to select your device. A battery goes in this thing. It's a little, one of those watch style batteries. And what it does is it provides power to the microphone for, like, if you're hooking it up to a camera or something. The good news is if you're hooking this up to a phone, you just switch it into the off position. You don't even have to put the battery in there. And it'll just run off the power from your phone. So no worries about that if you're just hooking this up to a headphone jack on a phone. So, but as I said, a little bit of a hassle with this sort of rat's nest and long cord here and figuring out what to do with it, and figuring out, as I said, I'm still playing with it in terms of figuring out where's the best, length as far as applications. So, as far as other things are concerned, the other thing that I don't like about Boya's BY-M1 microphone is really it's the instructions. They're really awful as far as clarifying what you need to do as far as turning the microphone on. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that here. What are the things you need to be aware of is that depending on which app you're using, sometimes certain apps will auto-detect external microphones that you plug into the headphone jack and go ahead and automatically turn it on for you. The stock app that came with, my camera app that came with my LG V40, fortunately is one of those apps that does that, so it automatically turns it on for me as soon as it's detected in the headphone jack. Other, particularly like third-party apps like Open Camera or something like that, you are going to have to manually go into the settings and turn it on. Okay? So, when you're going in there and you're taking a look at, your options and trying to figure out, okay, why is this, microphone not working? That's what you need to look into. You need to make sure you go into your mic settings in the app there and make sure that the external mic is turned on. Okay, so that is not explained in the instructions, so I like putting it out there as a just general tip to make sure you double check that in your app. The other thing is that a lot of times, especially if you've got, good placement with your camera mic or whatever it is that you're using, you may not be able to tell the difference. Okay, am I on the, the phone mic? Am I on the camera mic? Or am I on the Boya microphone? So the best way to test it, and it's an old tried and true method, you just sit there and do this. Just sit there and tap it like that. That was the way that I figured out, okay, the microphone's working, okay? So anyways, it's just old school little tip. I know it's something simple, kind of stupid or whatever, but sometimes it's the best way to figure out whether or not the device is working. So anyways, the other thing to be aware of is that the phone, when it's plugged in, at least on mine, when you go back through to review and watch your video, you have to unplug it from the headphone jack. So just be aware of that. You won't get any audio until you unplug the mic again. So when you want to go through and watch the video and just review it and see how it did. Okay. So one of the other things I want to do is to kind of give you guys the difference between the two and to just kind of let you guys know how much of a difference it makes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip it back over to the standard phone microphone that comes in my LG V40, just so you can kind of see the difference that this thing makes for as little money as you're spending. So let me pause it. Okay, so this is the stock LG V40 microphone on the phone, and I'm holding it here, about ideal placement, which is not comfortable for me, and it's certainly not comfortable for you guys. So, but that just kind of gives you an idea. And of course, the other thing is that, if the phone gets bumped or you jiggle or you have an itch or whatever it might be, or, you run your finger down like here and you bump it up against the mic or hit it up against like that, then obviously you got problems. So that's one of the things that having an external microphone helps solve. The other thing is that ideally the placement for filming would be something more like this. As you can see, as it gets further away, the sound gets a little more hollow, a little more tinny, maybe a little more background noise and stuff like that, fuzz and hiss in it. So anyways, that's just kind of give you a contrast to see what kind of a difference this little microphone makes and why I think it's a great value. And, perfect for, somebody just starting out, doesn't want to spend a lot of money, and just to kind of see the difference. And that's all I've got, and thanks for watching.